And welcome back to another Reality Skewed Gamers video. I'm your man with the plan, Ranger J 1999, and joining me is one of the skewers. You know him from the Star Wars lore series with idiots, the one and only Kashmir. Kashmir, how are you today?
Doing good, doing good. Just finishing up watching the Bad Batch.
That's right. That's what we're here to do, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. We have watched Bad Batch episodes 1 and 2, and Kashmir reached out to me and said, hey, you want to do some reviews on all the upcoming Star Wars shows coming out? And being the Star Wars show junkie that I am, just lore and everything, I'm like, yeah, we can do that. So we'll get this recorded today and out tonight. I'll have to work on it late, but it's fine because that's what the good Lord made Scotch whiskey for there, Cash. I've got a nice bottle of Glenlivet over here. I can just sit there and sip on it and work on the video. So we'll get it done. So that being said, I'm going to let Kashmir kind of take the lead here. And, we'll recap the previous season, where we're at, and going into season 1 and 2. We'll give our thoughts on it. And we'll give a rating out of five Bad Batch out of 5 Bad Batch clones. How many we give it? Now this was interesting. I didn't know they were going to do episode 1 and 2, but they are combined episodes. So yeah, we
Yes.
have episode 1 and 2 that was put out today. So when we last left our friends of the Bad Batch, Cash, where were we? What's going on with this series, brother?
Well, previously on the Bad Batch.
Meanwhile, in the Legion of Doom.
So they started the last season off awesome. So the Bad Batch basically get called in to help on a mission. It's you get to see Caleb Doom when
Start
he's
from episode 1. Yeah.
yep.
That's one of the best
Um,
openings of a show I have ever, a Star Wars show ever. I mean, that only Filoni could tie this in the way he did. I did not expect that in that opening to that, but yeah, yeah, it was unbelievable. Oh, dog, man, that whole
yeah,
opening sequence was unbelievable.
and they do it like right before Order 66. So as they're doing their mission, then all of a sudden, the events happen in episode 3.
Right.
Palpatine calls for Order 66. So all the clones basically like the light switches, and now they're going after Caleb. They're going after Depa Balaba. I believe that's how you pronounce her
Yeah.
name. Um, and they gun her down. They take her down. The Bad Batch basically has no idea what's going on. They're just
Yeah, they didn't have the
looking around like
chips.
what, yeah, like what the hell's going on here? What are you all doing? Except for Crosshair. Crosshair's kind of like,
Yeah,
so just follow the orders.
he was getting a little cross-eyed because he didn't have the chip. I think no, they had. Did they have the chips? But they were different from the
Yeah,
rest of the
they
clones.
they had the chips, but I mean, we ultimately find out that because of their mutations
That's
or
right.
whatever, that it really didn't affect them like it affected the other clones.
Right.
So, so ultimately, Caleb gets away. We end up down the road and down to Rebels. Come find out he's Kanan Jarrus. Spoiler alert on that one.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're probably already seen Rebels.
Yeah, we will be spoiling stuff, guys. So if you're watching this, well, season 1's been out forever, so we're not spoiling anything there. But yeah, if you're looking for spoiler review, yeah, this is a spoiler review. So yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, and then basically they go through a bunch of stuff. It leads to basically through the entire season after the events of episode 1. Bad Batch not going on. We see just overall the beginning formations of the Empire, right? Because
Yep.
the Galactic Empire, the safe and secure.
But it's
Um,
pretty cool because we see it from a different perspective. It's not like just down the road all of a sudden. Even before Andor, this is just kind of like
oh,
mirroring.
this is right after episode 3, and we get introduced to Omega, and we find out about her story. Crosshair basically through the series he switches over. They get his chip to be working the way it is, that like the rest of the clones.
Yeah.
And his just the way he's designed anyway. He's very
Mm-hmm.
follow orders. He doesn't really question
Yeah.
crap. And then leads to them all going back around. There's a bunch of episodes. You want to go watch it. But they end up
Yeah.
on Camino. They have to go do some stuff on Camino. The Empire at the end of the episode. Crosshair chasing them. They bombard the planet. An
Mm-hmm.
Empire tactic,
Yep.
right? and
Yep.
then they escape, and then we lead to episode 1 of season 2, right? That's where we're at
Yeah,
right now,
and
basically, right?
yeah, and
A lot we're leaving out, but I don't want to like go watch your own goddamn first
yeah.
season, man. We ain't here to recap the whole damn thing. We just want to give you a general consensus of like where we're at.
Yeah. So we start off episode 1.
Season 2, yep.
Episode 1, season 2. We're somewhere down like 6 months, a year past the end of season 1.
Yeah.
So what I love about this style of animation that Filoni does is the bright colors. Like it just starts out on this like on the shoreline
Yeah.
where they're running from these crab looking things, but this water is so blue. This is,
Like visiting the Bahamas.
yeah. I mean, it's like you shot it in the Bahamas and just kind of somehow animated it. But they're finishing up. It shows you right at the end of them finishing up a mission, getting away. Omega's now older. She looks a little bit more mature. She's she's doing her homework, learning about the ships, different classes of ships, what they can do, things like that. And then they bring their the whatever it was, because we don't ever
Payload,
find
whatever,
out.
yeah, that whatever they were after. It was a crate. They had to go get it,
Yeah.
and so yeah, they go back to now. What's the name of the fencer that they've been working with? The Trandoshan that they've been working.
Sid.
Sid, that's right.
Sid, yes.
Um, did you recognize the lady that was with her? I mean, it's a character, but did you recognize who the voice actress was on
Oh
that?
yeah, that's Wanda Sykes.
Yeah,
That
so
was
good. I did
yeah,
enjoy
she's got a
that.
distinct voice.
Oh,
They,
yeah, when you hear Wanda Sykes, you know it's Wanda Sykes. So Wanda Sykes is now
exactly.
officially canon in Star Wars. Well, her voice is anyway.
Yeah. Who knew?
Yeah, I can't wait to see her on Celebration or something when they talk about Bad Batch and have her come out there because
Yeah.
Wanda Sykes speaks her mind. Boy, I tell you
Oh
what.
yeah, she will. She doesn't hold back.
Eh, so yeah, and I think the theme, and you can kind of from both. So the thing that kind of comes from the beginning of this is that Sid's got a mission for him, right? To go. They've found out that Dooku's wealth is being plundered by the Empire, right?
Yep.
He's got all these this wealth that he's accumulated at his residency, and I don't remember the name of the planet where he was at, but Sid basically says, this is a way for you to, if you can just get one of those crates, you could stop living basically paycheck to
Yeah.
paycheck and survive, and you can go somewhere quiet and do that. And I know Hunter's mentality is, yeah, we got to do this for Omega, right? Because
Hmm.
putting her in danger, she's a kid. And they've always got to be on the run because of Omega, because people that want. Um, so that's the main emphasis, I believe, for this episode is that they go to Count Dooku's castle, whatever you want to call that, base. It looked like a base castle. I don't know what the hell you
Yeah.
call that. Residence, giant. Is it the same one that was from the Clone Wars? Like when you
Yeah,
see
it's
the Knights of Sisters?
Serrano.
Yeah. Okay.
Serrano's the name of it. I remembered it after a second, but yeah, and that was the same one that they showed a couple in a couple of the episodes in the Clone Wars, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Going back there and showing that.
Pajama fighting Dooku.
Yeah.
um
I was getting choked out by a Night Sister, or a ghost of the Night Sister, or whatever.
yeah, the other thing that is Omega's, motivations here, she overhears a conversation that Echo is having with Hunter about this wealth and about Omega, and they're doing a lot of this stuff for her, right? They're
Yeah.
and things, and she feels a certain way, so she's doubly motivated to try to help them, which will play out in this episode. And the other thing that Echo said it was kind of telling is, I think, some foreshadowing in the upcoming
Hmm.
series.
Yeah.
We could be doing more. We see what the Empire is doing firsthand.
Yeah.
We could be helping to do more if we do get this wealth. And I thought that was, again, foreshadowing for not just this episode, but, moving forward. So they go to the planet, and then what happens? I believe they scout it out, and then.
So they ended up getting a couple of crates. They end up getting a couple of crates, but as they're trying to leave,
Yeah, that's when everything goes to hell.
they do get split up. Hunter kind of stayed back as the recon on this one. They got to take their turns on who's going to be the one saving everybody.
Yeah.
But so he stayed back. Wrecker's, solo jobbing one crate, over the shoulder, bringing it out. But then they end up getting caught and getting into this predicament. Kind of like usual. Nothing ever goes clean. There's always got to be something happening.
Yeah.
And and Omega, Echo, and Tech, they end up getting caught in one of the ships.
Right. Yeah. So it's like you see those big seafaring bulk carrying, bulges, or what do we call those kind of ships? Bulk ships, transport ships, whatever they're called. I don't know the technical term for. You see them with those giant containers, floating through the ocean and stuff. That's basically what we have here, but it's just spaceships. And they're inside one when shit goes to hell in a handbasket, and then Hunter sets off the diversion. They can't get out, so they try to do. You got two things happening. You got Hunter and Wrecker fighting their way through. They basically are on the outside trying to get these guys out, and they're in the inside trying to get out of the crates. And so Hunter and Wrecker jump off the top of the castle, and then they fight their way down. So there's a whole storyline between those two. Then you've got the other group that you mentioned, Tech, Hunter, Tech, Echo, and Omega inside one of the crates. They can't get to an escape pod because the clones are smart. They eject them all, and then they're stuck in there. So they decide to launch all the crates because Omega finds out that they have rockets on them that'll keep them from crashing hard onto the ground and stuff. This is all still the first episode, I believe, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's still it's still the first episode.
What happens next? It's just basically those two storylines. So which one do you want to go through first? Hunter and Wrecker, or do you want to go through? That's probably the quicker one to do, right? Because they're just them fighting the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, and this might start bleeding into episode 2. I mean,
go for it. Yeah, that's fine.
It is what it is. But yeah, so I mean, they end up being right at kind of Dooku's almost like we'll call it throne room or whatever. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, the main area.
Exactly his kind of main office or whatever, and they've kind of got him pinned down. There's like this drop floor that can, almost like an elevator or whatever, that can kind of bring him into. It's almost like he was a magician and he can kind of, do, hey, surprise, ta-da, and they end up falling through the floor. Like they bust their way through there and go down, however many flights or whatever. I mean, they don't really show that part of it, but to end up having to grappling down to get out of
basically Dooku's castle.
Yeah.
And then they basically, it goes between them and then what's going on with the other three. And then Hunter and Wrecker lead some of the clone forces away, constantly, hit and run tactics, trying to, get to the ship as they're trying to get back to the ship. They're being hunted by the clone battalion that's there. And then I think during the fights, Wrecker, of course, they pull one of the battery. They find a bunch of separatist tanks from back in the day. They pull one of the battery packs from one, but then he hooks it up to one of the cannons, and that becomes Wrecker's new little toy that he carries around, because only he could carry something that big. But he just starts launching bombs everywhere, and that allows them to get to their ship. And
kind of like, just follow me. I'll lead the way.
The clones kept coming at him, and they're like, "Uh-oh, flee, flee!"
And as he puts it, he makes a good. He's like the new Tech. He's like good. He makes a good Tech.
He did. Well, he started launching just grenades. Well, it was part of the cannon thing, and it does shoot high projectile beams, or I don't know what it was launching. It had I think it was the things on the if I'm not mistaken, it's not the cannon part. It was the launchers on the bottom that would launch,
side things or whatever.
The one is at the front of the tanks that's got those 3 holes on each side that would launch energy projectiles. I think that's what he scooped up. That's really all that goes on with Hunter and Wrecker. They just basically have fights. Now, you can talk about what goes on with the other three, because the thing crashes, they get out, but yeah, I think, was it Teak that gets his leg broken? Yeah, he breaks his leg because
Yeah.
one of the things dropped on him. So yeah,
So as they're in one of the containers trying, and they're coming back down to Serrano, the a crate, one of the crates in there just comes down and crushes Tech's leg,
yeah,
breaking his femur, which it'll give him a limp. I mean, but yet he's still able to walk. But that's a whole other thing. Um, and then they end up getting, at the end of the day, they end up getting out of there. And there's a local who
yeah.
actually looks just like Dooku. Looks like an old, like you can
What
imagine,
was his
even an
name?
older
His name
version
was
of Dooku.
Doran, or what was his name? I can't remember the dude's name.
No, I want to say Ronan, but I might
That's
be
wrong. I don't think it was
that's
Ronan.
something.
Something like that. But yeah,
Yeah,
he's one of the he's a part of the indigenous population, and there were some good moments with him and those three. Um, I thought. I don't know who
yeah.
the character is. I was trying to rack my brain if I'd seen anybody like that or heard the name before. Nothing was registering. Did
Hmm.
anything register with
No,
you?
nope,
Yeah,
nope.
but he did have a cool scene with Omega to, gives her, and she's like, it's what is like kind of like a kaleidoscope kind
Yeah,
of little
it's
thing.
kaleidoscoping. She's like,
And
"Oh my god, look at all these
crystals.
diamonds or whatever, look at
Yeah.
all these riches that are in there."
He's like, no,
And
it's a
he's like,
toy.
"No, it's a toy,
But
you idiot."
what do you do with it? You play with it.
Yeah, which shows she's like, she doesn't know. She was never a kid.
She still is a kid, but she
Yeah, she
hasn't been
is a
able to be
kid.
a kid. Yeah.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
mean, she has her stuffed animal and stuff, but I mean, yeah, she's not had a normal childhood, right?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
Uh, with her background. And
yeah. Which is
then,
one of the things like Hunter's like he wants to give her.
yeah, yeah. And so she gets an idea in her head to go back to the crate. Now they go into calm silence because the clones are hunting them. They're at this guy's place. Tech and him have a cool moment where he shows him kind of like this tech that has like a history of his planet and his people and stuff, and they have a conversation about the planet. That they weren't really separatists. Dooku was, but he, and that he got all his wealth from them. He plundered
Hmm.
them. That's where all his wealth comes from. And I'm trying to think. Echo has a moment with Omega here, or is it later on
Yeah,
that he
and
has a
he
moment?
was just really kind of scouting some things out. He was just, I think he has another moment where he's like, this is kind of not blaming Omega, but it's kind of like we're doing this for Omega. It's kind of her,
Yeah.
not her fault, but he kind of says it's her fault.
So yeah, so it seems like you got Hunter and Wrecker running to the ship. They do make it to the ship. The clones are chasing them. Um, Omega, feeling the pressure of trying to help them so that they don't have to worry about her,
Yeah.
goes back to the crate, even though they know the clones are out there. She gets some repellent equipment. Of course, what happens? The clones from the Empire show up. They have a big fight.
Hmm.
Um, there was a great moment, which was a callback to Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade. Did you pick up on it when it happened?
Yeah.
Where Omega says, "No, I can reach it," because she's inside. Echo falls in there with her, and she's got a big satchel of
Satchel of.
just wealth, right? And it
Yep.
falls, and the thing's starting to collapse, and they've got to get out of there. And Echo says, "Omega, just let it go." And it was a scene right out from Last Crusade where he's like,
Yeah.
"In Indiana, let it go," like when he's reaching for the Grail. I thought that was a
If
great little
only he did a
scene.
Sean Connery,
Let it go, Indiana.
I'll leave the impressions to you.
I don't do the best Sean Connery. Do a lot of them, but not Sean Connery.
Yeah.
They get out of that. Basically, you said, yeah, and then they get out of the situation. They let it go. Megan, and all them get back together. Echo has a heart to heart with Omega, saying that they're glad that they made the decision that they did, that it worked out, that they don't regret having her there. They don't that they want her there, and that she's part of the team, and they made the right choice, and that makes her feel better about her kind of guilt for what's been going on with
Yeah.
them. And so yeah, they get away. And that's pretty much their story. Now there's a story with the clone commander. Um, when the guy from season one, I don't know what his name is, Moff.
Rampart.
whatever.
He's a Vice Admiral Rampart.
Yeah, whatever his name is, right? He is the
Yeah.
one that bombarded Camino. He comes
Yeah.
in, he's talking to the clone commander, and he says, there was a problem with your report. It said that you ran into, Clone Force 99. And then he's like, yeah, because I saw,
Mhm.
I actually made contact with them,
Yeah.
was fighting them. And he's like, well, that's not going to work because I reported I killed them on Camino. And he's like, I'm going to need you to change that report. And the commander says, no, I'm not going to lie on an official report.
Mhm.
Well, he should have said something different because he gets shot in the head. And you see him fall over the ledge because this guy does not want Grand Moff Tarkin knowing that
Yeah.
that they're still around. Because, we have
Mhm.
that whole beef with them and Tarkin and the the last season. I think those are the main points. I didn't see anything else. Main points that's kind of the general gist of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I mean, I'll give my thoughts here on it. It was fine. I wasn't blown away by it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't go over the moon for it. I thought it was good. It was okay. I mean, I like some of the things that's, the foreshadowing. I want to see what happens as an opening to episodes. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it had
Yeah.
its moments. There were some good moments there, but it was the thing that I like about Bad Batch. It's just fun Star Wars stuff that gets into some lore right after episode 3. And I like the characters a lot, and I like those character
Mhm.
interactions. And I'm really starting to, enjoy each of the characters. But I just thought the overall story was just, I get it. They're doing this for Omega, but it's been kind of a theme for a while now. This was a bigger risk than they'd ever taken before.
Mhm.
I'm more interested in that, Echo saying we could be doing more to fight the
Yeah.
Empire. That was what I picked up more, not so much for what they're trying to do for Omega. I think they're trying to get past trying to do shit for Omega and trying to lean more into them becoming more of a thorn in the Empire's side. I mean, they're already hunted by the Empire anyway, so it seems like that might be the play to do.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know. It was okay. I mean, it was good, but it didn't really blow me away. I mean, I don't know. If I was to give it a rating, I'd give it like a 3 out of 5. Bad Batch. I mean, it was just
Mhm.
good enough to keep me interested, and there was some good stuff that's foreshadowing for the future. But I wasn't blown away by either one of them. I thought it was good, but nothing like outstanding.
Yeah. For a season premiere for episode 1 and 2,
Yeah,
or really episode 1, let's just say, it it's it really was okay. It
yeah,
really was, it could have been a lot better. It just kind of fell back into a lot of what they did last season of just, hey, here's our new mission.
yeah,
Let's go on the new mission. It did grow a little bit as far as like you said, all right, Echo is now um, you know, leaning in on Omega, letting her know that she's, not only part of the team, but we are doing things for you, but we kind of, not that we need
gladly
you.
made that choice, is what he's basically
Yeah, yeah,
told
we
her.
made that choice. That was our choice. We wanted to do it. Um, and I think last season they Echo really didn't have any kind of moments, and here they kind of addressed that right off the bat and kind of made him one of the leads in on this, and with her, and they kind of helped solidify their relationship, which was good.
Yeah, what would you
But I
give it
think,
out of 5? Yeah, I'm interested in your
you know
the 5 Bad Batch clones. What are we giving it?
I want to give it because it's the first episode. I gotta only give it like a low 3. I want it like a 2.75. I want to give it something to that
Right
nature.
around
I
the
give it
same
a
score I
3.
gave it. Yeah, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, yeah. I just thought for the first episode it should have been better.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just fun Star Wars. It really is. The
Mhm.
adventure of the week kind of serial kind of
Yeah,
thing. But I think that now this may change over time. I don't think my score will, but I think there's some real potential here with the Bad Batch. Like
yeah.
if they go that route of now let's okay, we've been surviving and finding our way a little bit,
Mhm.
but do we want to keep doing that? I mean, I think they've got past the point of, we got to do stuff for Omega, which I'm hoping that
Yeah.
their new thing is, you know what? Let's start kicking the shit out of the Empire. That's the thing that I want to see them
Yeah.
start doing. Really become, that driving force. And there's some really, I
Mhm.
mean, it's that's the storyline that I really hope that they dig into.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because you mentioned the beginning of this series, one of the best opening series I've ever seen, because that whole thing with Caleb,
Oh,
to tie that in. I mean, Filoni's he's just a goddamn legend. Um, this one, yeah, it was like, oh, I was expecting a little bit more, because you usually expect the first two, like the opening
yeah.
act, to really get you, and
Hmm.
it just didn't. It was kind of the same stuff over and over a little bit. So here's the mission. Now the stakes were a little higher, but there was no Crosshair, but we know he's coming. If you've seen the
Yeah. Yeah.
trailers, there's going to be some cool stuff that happens. I am interested to see what happens with Wanda Sykes' character. I don't. She's playing a Wanda Sykes character. She was being herself in Star Wars. It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of where I'm hoping this goes. I mean, are you kind of the same boat, or where
Yeah.
you?
I mean, we didn't talk about any of the trailers or anything like that, and they got a lot of the trailer stuff was in here. But I mean, we know this season we're going to see Rex again.
Yeah,
We're going to see Cody. We're going to see Gunji, one of the Padawan, or I don't even know who wasn't even a Padawan at that time, one of the younglings from Clone Wars,
yeah.
a Jedi. So
That's
it
why
could,
I'm hopeful, and I picked
yeah,
up on that foreshadowing when Echo said what he said to Hunter.
yeah,
Hunter's reservation was Omega, but I think they're getting past. Like, you know what? Omega can kind of handle herself. I mean, she proved that
yeah,
in this episode.
yeah.
Yeah, she's still young and she's still
Mm-hmm.
gonna do young, stupid things, but
Mm-hmm.
you saw her on several occasions, like when they were fighting the crab creatures. She really was holding her own and doing her own thing and thinking on quick on her feet and things of that
Yeah.
nature. And in other instances, yeah, it was a little reckless what she did to go for the treasure, but she was doing it with a good place in her heart, because she really wants to feel like she's helping these guys
Mm-hmm.
who she feels are her family, and she wants to make sure that they're safe and taken care of. And that's why she was so gung-ho on trying to. Yeah, and a couple times she's like, no, we got to get this loot. We can't come out empty-handed, and so I'm hoping that they move away from that and just let Omega be Omega as part of the team.
Yeah.
Because in that trailer, you see all that stuff, and you're like, that's the direction I hope this goes. And if it
Uh-huh.
does, I think Bad Batch season 2 has huge potential to get some really fantastic Star Wars lore into this. And we already know they're going to be dealing with Rex, and you said the Jedi and stuff. I'm
Mm-hmm.
wondering what they're going to do. And there could be some surprises we don't know about, because that they got some stuff in there that we didn't see in the trailer that I'm hoping comes into here. So, um,
Maybe we'll see Yoda. Sorry.
yeah. Anything else? I think we kind of hit it hard. I think that's about all we
Yeah,
got.
I think that was pretty good synopsis, for
Yeah, I
first
think
two
it's
episodes.
yeah. So we'll do a review of this every day, and put it out the same day for you guys. We usually watch in the morning, and I'm getting ready to go stream like we always do. We cover a lot of different
Mhm.
Star Wars stuff here. But if you like this, hit the thumbs up. Leave comments. All that stuff's appreciated. Feedback's always important, and just let us know what you guys thought of the episodes. That's really
Yeah,
the main thing we're interested.
that's what I'm curious
How
because
did you guys? Did you like it? Did you really like it? Did you not so much like it? Those are
yeah.
the kind of things. We give our thoughts, but art's subjective. These are just our opinions. And if
Hmm.
you love it, great. If you didn't love it so much, that's okay too. And
Yeah.
we're fine with
Let me
that.
know if I was an idiot. I
No,
mean, this
that's the
time I don't think
difference
I
here. Is we
was.
do that with Star Wars lore with idiots. You can check that on the channel as well. So I think that covers it. So hit the thumbs up, subscribe, all that crap. Anything else? I think we're good.
That's
So
good. I'll see you next week.
yeah, we'll see you next week for at least episode 3. Maybe they're 3 and 4. I don't know, but we'll find out. So on behalf of myself and Kashmir, thanks for checking out RSG, and we will see you guys next week. Peace out.